Well, good morning, everyone, to our February 9th, 2023 West Elgin Council meeting. We'll call the meeting to order at 9:31. First order of business is the adoption of the agenda and a recommendation that West Elgin Council hereby adopts the agenda as presented. Mover and seconder. Teresa and Michelle. All in favor? That's carried. Certainly a reminder to disclose pecuniary interest. And Madam Clerk, I'll turn it over to you from here on for reading the resolutions.
Sure. That the minutes of the council meeting on January 26, 2023 and the committee of the whole meeting on January 30th, 2023 be adopted as circulated and printed.
Mover and seconder. Bill and Richard, all in favor? That is carried. Business arising from the minutes.
Doesn't appear.
Seeing none.
Does anyone have anything they want to remove off the consent agenda? Have discussion on?
You want to talk to the consent agenda?
I haven't heard of anyone. So would you like me to read the resolution?
Yes, please.
The West Elgin Council hereby receive and file the consent agenda as presented.
Mover and seconder, please. Michelle and Teresa. And that's carried.
So we're up to planning. Robert is on the meeting.
Okay, good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Caught me off guard there, Bill. A little bit.
Is it raining where you're at?
It is, yes.
Yeah, okay. Did Mr. Flack get a hold of you yet?
We spoke this morning, yes.
Okay, good. Good. Where am I at? All right, we are down to severance application E8822. E3722, comment to Elgin County Planning Report. Recommendation.
Would you like Robert to present his
Well, let's
report
do
first?
that first. Yes, Robert, tell us what you know.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'm gonna divert for just a second here because we wanted to provide a little verbal update to council for our current OP review process. Every month we meet with a consultant, and at this point we've kind of whittled it down to probably some goals that we're setting for the next few months to get things in front of council. As it stands right now, we're looking at presenting the OP likely to council sometime in April, mid-April, but potentially at a special meeting. The hope there is that will give council an opportunity to look at what I won't say the final product is going to be, but where we're at as of right now. Once that's been presented to council, the hope is to then schedule a public open house in May to garner some final public input on the official plan. That would be followed up with hopefully a statutory public meeting in June, one of the two meetings for that. And then once that is completed, there'll be some additional wrap up of statutory consultations that have to take place. And then come July, the hope is to bring the final document forward to council for adoption, and then eventually on to the county. So that's where we stand right now on that. Is there any questions or anything from council on that?
So the first flush council's review of the official plan through the eyes of the consultant, there'll be opportunity for input from council at that point in time.
There will, Mr. Mayor, yes.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, they're going to do a full-on PowerPoint and give you. You'll get it. I believe 10 days before the meeting. I think that's the goal. At least 10 days before, or at least a week before the meeting, for you'll have lots of time to read it and everything.
Very good. And I know that Robert and I had a little discussion yesterday, I think, about the potential of if we can get these severance applications out to council, maybe quicker than the day before, that probably would be be advisable, and then council would have an opportunity if they so desired to, have a drive-by and have a look, see what we're talking about. So hopefully that can be accomplished going forward.
Yeah, I think the idea is when we get the statutory notice from the county, we'll send it to you
Yeah.
guys as well.
You can send it on a separate cover.
Yeah, it's not going to be, it'll be the,
Doesn't have to be in the agenda.
yeah, it's not going to be in the agenda. It'll just be,
Right.
these are the statutory notices. Kind of what we do with, when we send out a zoning notice, I believe we give you guys the statutory notices, so you get 20 days notice.
Mhm. I know that Land Division had their first orientation meeting yesterday, and I think that they seem to be getting things together down there, so. All right, so Robert, tell us what you know.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first application, this is located at the corner of Marsh Line and Graham Road. This is a large farm parcel. There is very little frontage actually left on Graham Road. There's been a number of lots taken off in a rural residential strip along Graham Road off of this farm parcel. Essentially what's left right now, there's an existing house and an outbuilding on the property. The applicant is proposing to do 2 lots, one for the existing dwelling that's located on the property. This lot would come off and be serviced by existing municipal water that's on Graham, but will require a private septic system. There is a shed located sort of to kitty corner with the rear of the lot. That will be remaining on the farm. And then secondly, to the north of this proposed lot severance of the existing lot, there will be an additional lot, created vacant lot right in the corner. This particular lot, will be serviced with water off of Graham, and actually it will have the ability to tap into the existing sewer line on Marsh. That was basically what's kind of discussed with the applicant as being likely the most feasible option here. Extending the sewer down Graham Street to pick up the one existing dwelling was going to present a fairly significant cost that just didn't make a lot of sense. And generally the rural residential designation is partially serviced anyways. Quite often you'll have just water and private septic. So both of the lots are just slightly undersized in that rural residential zone. One of the conditions for approval would be submission of a minor variance application to recognize that. With the one being on sewer, that's not an issue. With the existing dwelling, there is a new septic system that's being installed, and we've had it shown on the plan. It can be accommodated on that new lot without any difficulties. As I noted, these lands are designated rural residential. The remainder of the farm remains agricultural. So the rural residential does allow for the severance of both the existing lot and the creation of the new lot. The zoning is already in place. It's already rural residential, so there's no need to amend that. There was no concerns or comments that were expressed in the circulations on this particular application. There will be new access, of course, required for the new vacant lot. There is an existing driveway for the existing dwelling. Parkland dedication, of course, with lot creation is required as a condition of the lot creation. Aside from that, unless there's questions from council, that is all I have.
Questions from council for Robert? Yes, Bill.
Through the chair, Robert, the proposed new lot on the corner, where would the driveway access be?
That's a little bit of dealer's choice there. The applicant could potentially look to us for an access off of Marsh Line, or potentially the county off of Graham. I know there is a daylight corner that was taken off of the farm many years ago, so there is somewhat reduced area here, but that'll be up to them if they can achieve the county's requirements in terms of setback from the intersection to come out. It could come off of Graham. And the same off of Marsh. We'll have to wait to see what they're doing house wise, but it could either or.
Thank you. Is that going to require any type of condition from us regarding the severance of them requiring to make a legal access?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we've included that as a condition that they obtain new access for the vacant lot.
So that remaining property down Marsh Line there is that's not in the settlement area, is it?
No, it's not. It still remains in the ag behind where the lot's being created.
Okay. I guess that's a discussion as we look at the official plan that we can have at that time. Any other questions for Robert on this before us? Not seeing anything, Robert. As usual, your explanations are pretty close. Okay, you want to read the recommendation and Madam Clerk?
The West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Robert Brown, planner, regarding consent application E8622 and E8722, comments to the County of Elgin, and that West Elgin Council hereby recommends approval to the Land Division of the County of Elgin for severance applications E8622 and E8722, subject to the lower tier municipal conditions in Appendix 2A and B of this report, and further that West Elgin Council directs administration to provide this report as municipal comments to the County of Elgin.
You've all heard the recommendation. Do I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Bill and seconded by Teresa. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, next one up, severance E9122.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is property located at the corner of Furnival and Talbot line. There's an existing house that's located on a large lot. Either by just sheer luck or coincidence, the house on the property happens to be located towards the west, which opens up the opportunity for lot creation here. Again, this is located within the hamlet of New Glasgow, so there is the possibility here of lot creation being within that hamlet designation. The property, the only sort of oddity, I suppose, with this property is the applicants asked to keep, you'll notice on parcel A there that there's a little leg that kind of goes from Furnival into parcel A. That's been retained in order to make sure that they can access services that are located on Furnival Road that are already existing versus having to make new connections on Talbot, which obviously we would prefer not to have to dig up roads whenever humanly possible. There's a cost to the applicant, and obviously we prefer not to disturb the roads as much as humanly possible. So there was no concern expressed by doing that. Each of the lots will meet the minimum requirements in the current hamlet residential zone. So there's no zoning issues as a result of this. It complies with both the county and West Elgin official plans as they stand right now. There is an existing access off of Furnival Road, and I suspect that that will probably be the option of choice to utilize that existing access. They will, however, require to make formal application to the county to recognize that, despite it being an existing access, because of the new lot creation, they want to formally have an access permit granted for that new lot. Unless there's question, there was no concerns or comments expressed in our circulations, and I've had no calls from the public on the proposal in this location. So unless there's questions from council, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Robert? It's just kind of a natural spot for a lot, really, when you look at it. I know I've drove by it many times, and I've always thought, that would make a good spot for a lot. So it makes sense to me. Not seeing any questions. Read the resolution.
The West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Robert Brown, planner, regarding the consent application E9122 comments to the County of Elgin, and that West Elgin Council hereby recommends approval to the Land Division Committee of the County of Elgin for severance application file E9122, subject to lower tier municipal conditions in Appendix 2 of this report. And further, that West Elgin Council directs administration to provide this report as municipal comments to the County of Elgin.
Moved by Richard, seconded by Bill, all in favor. Carried. Next item up, severance application E10322. Richard, or Robert.
Either works. I've got both those names.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The particular proposal in this instance is there's an existing lot on the aerial photograph. You'll notice there's the red and the blue. That is currently an L-shaped lot that kind of wraps around that little green square there. The applicant has come forward with the idea that those lands are effectively really surplus to the lot that's located at 23092 Pioneer Line. And they've offered them for sale to the owner of the green parcel there. So they'd be severed off and added as a lot addition. Essentially what this creates is two lots that are of very similar size next to one another. Disposes of the lands that, as I mentioned, they're really surplus. They have been farmed over the last few years, but essentially just to keep the weeds down and not have extra grass to cut. So this will be added to the lands next door, and that will open the door for potential construction of a new house. The properties are on municipal water. There is an existing septic system located behind 23092, so there's no concerns that way in terms of the septic being on the lot addition lands. There's no zoning issues created by this. The existing both the parcels that are involved, including the lot addition, are located in the rural residential designation, and as such, this is fairly straightforward. Shifting of the lot lines, there's no county or West Elgin official plan issues. It's consistent with provincial policy. I received no concerns from the agencies circulated, including staff, and I've not received any comments from any of the neighbors. So unless there's questions from council, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. We'll repeat it again. Any questions for Robert or Richard or whatever alias he's going under today? I don't see anything. So resolution, Madam Clerk.
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Robert Brown, planner, regarding consent application E10322, comments to Elgin County, and that West Elgin Council hereby recommends approval to the Land Division Committee of the County of Elgin for consent application file E10322, subject to lower tier municipal conditions in Appendix A of this, or Appendix 2 of this report. And further, that West Elgin Council directs administration to provide this report as municipal comments to the County of Elgin.
Okay, you've all heard the resolution. Mover and seconder, please. Teresa and Michelle, all in favor? And that is carried. Okay, we're going to go to the clerk's report.
So yeah, it's a draft noise bylaw for review. Originally, I had just planned on you guys reviewing it and providing comment because I had submitted it to the Ministry of Attorney General for review, but they actually got back to me quickly with no changes or comments. So
What went wrong there?
I don't know. But I asked them to review it quickly. So maybe that's why, but we got it fairly quickly. I got it back within 48 hours, which blew my mind. So basically the new bylaw enforcement officer and I have kind of, actually the previous one and I had done it too, gone through and made a list of bylaws that needed some review and updates. So this is probably the beginning of a string of them and we prioritized them. We just hadn't got to a lot of them because of COVID before. We were busy with other things. So I don't know if you have any questions about some of the stuff I've put in the report. It's fairly detailed, I believe. There's nothing major or shattering about this. It's fairly similar to what we have. It's basically the same as the neighbors we border.
Okay, council have any? Yes, Teresa. Go ahead, Teresa.
She's trying to get unmuted.
Yeah, I have no questions at this time. Thank you very much for the detailed report, and I'd like to go ahead and move this if I could.
Again, is there in here, is there some specific for fireworks?
No, so it does state that there isn't fireworks in there. I have a fireworks bylaw out for review with the fire department. It's coming because we shouldn't just review, like, just our previous bylaw only dealt with the dates fireworks could go off.
Right.
This was in, and just because of the noise aspect, a general fireworks bylaw does deal with the safe storage of fireworks as well for fire code, and who can let them off. We never had one that covered any of that, and we really should to provide cover ourselves for liability. And it was actually one of the things the fire chief wanted dealt with, but he's reviewing it right now, and it should probably be at the next council.
Just
Okay, because I had a draft motion. I was going to see if we could do it at a future council meeting in regards to fireworks. So yeah, I would be interested in seeing that when it comes, and maybe we could do it all at one meeting and have a discussion then. Maybe that would be timely.
Yeah, it's so it'll come. Like I said, it's just out for staff review right now. It was number 2 on our priority list. So
do you want to at least plant the seed of what you're thinking?
Sure. I don't know if it's the right time or not, but no, in October, I noticed that some residents during Diwali were looking for sparklers. They went to West Lawn, they came to 2 different stores in Rodney, and they were looking for sparklers, being very respectful of our bylaw that you can only let off fireworks during a certain time, whereas they traditionally wanted to let off fireworks to celebrate Diwali because that's something that they were looking to do. And I thought it was pretty awesome that they didn't, they didn't come to us and ask if they could. The different families that were celebrating, they just went ahead and got sparklers so their children at least could celebrate it. So Diwali changes every year. So this past year in 2022, it was in October, and this year it is November 12th. I already looked it up. So I was just wondering if we could, in a future date, look at maybe adding that to our fireworks bylaw, whatever the wording would be as it changes each year, which I guess most of the celebrations do change that we look at. So that was something that I was going to, pass budget or pass whatever we're doing here. We're very busy.
Yeah,
Look at adding or changing that.
no, it would be a quick addition to it, because everything is actually, all of our dates are set by holidays, not dates. I mean, most of them are pretty specific, but it's like Victoria Day. It can be the day 3 days preceding, 3 days after. So definitely we can put Diwali in there as a holiday, so knowing it changes. If you feel that's it's culturally appropriate, I think they do. I do believe that's common.
Well, I think that, we are turning into a more of a multicultural community, and I think it's important that we just not recognize the May 24th or Victoria Day or things like that. If there are other cultures that have their own special days, I think that we have to be sensitive to that. So are you satisfied with that, rest that now that our clerk is aware of that specific holiday, that she can maybe weave that into the final report?
Yeah, that sounds great. I wouldn't, well, I did know about Diwali and I did know about the fireworks, but when I visually saw people searching for them and being respectful of our bylaw to not let them off, I thought, well, why can't we be inclusive and do that? So yeah, that would be great if we could do that.
That's a great, it's probably a really, like you said, it's not something that was previous. So I just kind of moved some stuff over and modernized some stuff, but yeah, no, it's a great update.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So we do have the motion on the floor to approve the draft, like the noise bylaw.
All right, You want to read that recommendation?
So Tress has moved it that West Elgin Council hereby receives a report from Janet Nethercott, redraft noise bylaw for review and comments. And that West Elgin Council hereby directs staff to bring forward the bylaw to adopt a noise bylaw in the bylaw portion of the February 6, 2023 agenda.
Okay, well, we guess we got a mover. How do we have a seconder? Richard. Okay, we'll call the vote. All in favor? That is carried. Moving right along here, committee and board reports, West Elgin Community Center Board of Management. I guess everyone is aware of the West Elgin minor hockey having the retention of their OMHA status. I think that they're all very happy about that. But it is time dated. Do you remember? I think it's 2 years.
It's still 2020. Yes, I believe that they said that it was for the fall, the next 2 seasons, so 23-24 and 24-25.
And they seem to be confident in the fact that their enrollment continues to improve, and that's good. I guess another Ken Loveland is staying on his chair. You dodged a bullet, or you'd have been vice chair yesterday, but I couldn't do it because you had to agree to it, but that's okay. We'll move on. Any other questions that anybody might have on the arena? I think all in all, things are going very smoothly with the facility, and the users are there, so we'll keep doing what we're doing. All right, next item up, Four Counties Transportation Services Committee. We had a quick little meeting. I guess by default, I ended up as chair of it. So we're just waiting for our new bus to arrive. Any update on that, Magda? Have you heard any more about that?
Through the chair, I haven't heard anything. When we signed renewed agreement, the delivery date was scheduled for May of 2023.
So, do you know of anything outstanding that we need to deal with Four Counties? I don't think there's any direction we need from council.
No, fees and charges bylaw for transit was approved by the committee. I can't think of anything.
Okay. Next item up is do councilors have any other reports from committees? Bill.
Through the chair, just an update that Tri-County had a meet and greet last week. The existing council representatives and the new councilors were all given an opportunity to get together with the other municipalities that partner in Tri-County, and it was a great evening to meet some new folks and learn a little bit more about our water plant and how it works.
Yes. Yeah, I think it went very well. I know in talking with some of the members that had not been there before. I mean, certainly it was it's kind of an awe-inspiring tour to actually see what's in that building. So consideration items requiring discussion. We didn't pull anything. Okay, well, we're down to council inquiries and announcements. Notice of motion. Anybody have something that they want to get on the future agenda? Okay, seeing nothing, statements and inquiries by councilors. Anybody have anything that they would like to announce to council for the business of the municipality? Seeing none, matters of urgency. I do have one matter of urgency, and it kind of flows through Magda. It's more her urgency that we kind of have to address. So Magda, why don't I just let you explain what you're thinking?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this matter of urgency relates to our 2023 budget deliberations. Our budget deliberations, we were planning on starting them on February 16th. Unfortunately, due to circumstances out of control, we're unable to make that deadline, and I would like to recommend to council another date of March 2nd, which is the first Thursday of March. The reason for March 2nd is our next council meeting in March is scheduled for March 9th. And I just don't want budget deliberations to interfere with council meetings. As normally budget meetings are quite long. And I would like to receive council's consent on revised date.
We'll
Okay.
need a resolution.
Yeah.
I have one ready if you're ready.
I certainly don't see an issue with that. I know that the last few years, Magda has worked very, very hard at trying to get budgets out in an earlier time frame than what they had been done in the past, and I think that you've done a very good job at that. But the situation is that's not possible right now. So does anyone have an issue with backing this off? Do you feel that's going to be enough time for you, Magda?
Yes, sir. I think that the extra couple weeks will give me enough time to get everything together.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Any other comments regarding this? Vanessa, Michelle, anything you want to add to this? You're all good with it? Okay, Madam Clerk, the resolution, please.
Sure, that West Elgin Council hereby reschedules the Committee of the Whole budget meeting on February 16th to 9:30 a.m. on March 2nd, 2023.
Mover and seconder, Bill and Richard, all in favor? That is carried. Okay, a list of upcoming meetings.
Well, we just
changed
fixed
it.
that.
Yeah, we just changed that, so you can make note of that if you're. Tri-County Water Board meeting on the 7 p.m. February 21st. That I believe we talked was going to be an in-person meeting.
Hybrid.
It's a hybrid meeting now. Okay.
That's
good.
so we'll be here,
Right.
and who can attend will be here. Otherwise, they're at home. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's that. I think that's fair to, those individuals that have to travel quite a way, especially from Chatham or some of the Aqua people okay. That's good. And then, of course, council, February 23rd. Yes, Richard.
And through the chair, it's the AGM for the Lower Thames
Okay.
on the 23rd in the afternoon. If it's possible, I'd like to attend it.
In the afternoon, you should be able to if you're like me today, you can run out the door and head to another
We
meeting.
should be fine. It's 5 after 10 and we're on bylaws. I
Yeah.
think we'll be okay.
So, bylaws.
So this is the bylaw that will introduce the transit schedule
Okay.
that was approved. And we did forget to include the Lower Thames Valley planning fees on the original. That was my fault, original bylaw. So we're adding that. So that bylaw 2023-12 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2023-10 to provide for various fees and charges for the municipality of West Elgin for 2023 be read a first, second, and third and final time.
Okay, mover and seconder, please. Michelle and Bill, any more discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? That is carried. Next bylaw.
2023-13, the noise bylaw, that bylaw 2023-13 being a bylaw to prohibit and regulate noise and vibration in the municipality of West Elgin is read a first, second, and third and final time.
Okay, mover and seconder, please. Teresa and Richard, all in favor? That is carried.
So this is the confirming bylaw, that bylaw 2023-14 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council held on February 9th, 2023, be read a first, second, and third and final time.
Mover and seconder. Moved by Teresa, seconded by Michelle, all in favor? And now it's carried. I can't believe this, but here we are.
I think this is a record, sir.
I think so.
Well, no, we did have a 3-minute meeting once.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that the council of the municipality of West Elgin hereby adjourn at 10:07 a.m. to meet again at 9:30 a.m. on February 16th, 2023 as committee of the whole. Sorry, I'm going to pull that to meet at 9:30 a.m. on February 23rd, 2023 as council or at the call of the chair.
Okay. Mover and seconder. Teresa and Michelle. Any more discussion? Anybody else have anything that they need to impart with before we say goodbye? Otherwise, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Everybody in your life will wonder if you really went to a meeting or not.
So we start with a quarter of revision, don't we? Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.